Well, congratulations, because you finally unlocked the Abyss Dungeon. Today, we're going to be giving you a beginner's guide where we're going to be going over stuff, things, and of course that. But at any rate, this is going to be a beginner's guide. We will have more guides on this, but given that this is day one and I have been grinding the hell out of this game, I can only imagine there's going to be more stuff down the road. But today, we're going to be going over the basics, giving you a bunch of tips on how to utilize this beginning mode of it here, and clearly the best things to do. So it does say that we're going to be getting 3 abyssal keys every day, and if you're probably like me, you already stocked up on a whole bunch of these things from the fun, and we don't really know yet because we're still within the first 24 hours, but I am thinking this is going to be like our dungeon tickets where you need to have it at 0 in order to have those 3 replenished. Still, we'll have to wait to see on it, but that's what I'm thinking. Either way, it says we're going to be getting 3. But we can also go over to the gift packs. There is 2 ads we can watch in there to gain 2 more of them, so a couple extras on top of the ones that if you want to spend in there. And clearly the fun, we have that going on. That was $15 for me. That has a whole bunch of these things in there. And clearly there is also the exchange shop where we can go in there and grab them too. Now there's a couple main reasons why we want to go and play this Dungeon Abyss, this exchange shop being one where we can go and use these origin stones that we're going to get inside the battle and then use them to come over here and trade them out for rewards. But the main one that a lot of people are doing this is for those equipment gems, or let's just call them jewels. Gems just seem so confusing on this, but we are going to make a separate video on that immediately after this one, so keep your eyes open if you want to know all about the jewels. Just seems like too much to throw them all together. The last reason we want to play this is for those leaderboards, and depending on where you rank, you can get the badges, you can go get more of these vials, get some jewels, and obviously some gems too. So as far as before we enter into the Abyss, we'll see this screen right here with the different difficulties. Think of the stuff on the left as our restrictions. You're restricted to this max rarity of a gem, or you're restricted to, let's say, your mounts and artifacts having a 25% reduction. Every single difficulty has a little question mark next to it. You can go click on that to see your chances of these gems dropping in there. And over on the right hand side, you'll see a chest. If you complete this within 60 rounds, this is how you're going to achieve this. Now, if we look down below, you'll see the blessings, and you'll probably see the first one has a plus sign and the other 4 will be kind of blocked out. You can't actually put anything in there until you get to difficulty 31. This is when we can start using those yellow regions, or the yellow vials, I like to call them. If you do want to unlock those other slots, it's just going to require you to increase the multiplier, which will cost more keys. And just know, if you are putting these vials in there or using keys and you go and lose, you're not going to waste them. They'll come right back to you. Everything in here that gets used up is only in a win situation. When we go into battle, we'll be able to pick a skill, and they pretty much look like the brands, the mobs, the monsters, but just know you can keep on picking the same one of these, upgrade their levels. And this is what you really want to do early on, in the fact that everything is just kind of getting one-shotted. This is a great way to go and unlock every single one of their abilities so we can go and get the rewards out of the Atlas. And this is going to be the same thing for the mobs that you want to go and fight, or even the new area scenery that you want to be playing in. Each one of these will unlock its own slot over in that Dungeon Atlas, and it's just a quick, easy way to grab a couple extra little gems out of it. There is one exception though, and that's whenever you see a chest-style creature, you're going to want to go and select that, and the fact that it is going to give some of those origin stones for us to go and exchange in the shop. So looking at the meter up top, this is kind of 2 things in one. The first one being the little yellow line that goes across. This is going to kind of track how many rounds you fight throughout this whole Abyss level. The yellow meter is just going to kind of let us know how far we are before we go and reach that final boss. And it does seem like both the mobs and the bosses can both have those jewel drops in there. There is also the backpack up top, which is just going to kind of share with you what you've already grabbed so far through this gameplay. And there is also a little bit of a bug in this where you'll go and play and it just stops advancing. You're just sitting there on a raft. So if you run into that situation, just force close the game. When you open it back up, it'll say, hey, you've got a Dungeon Abyss going. Do you want to continue? And you should be good from there. There will also be times where you see either the angel or the demon, and if you don't see the chest on it, you do want to go after those. Those will also have skills that you can go and pick up in the game, and those will also show up in the Atlas too. You'll also notice that when picking some of these bosses to fight, they do have different rarities. Once you go and get all of them unlocked inside your Atlas, then I would probably say go for the higher rarity in the assumption that it's going to give better rewards, but haven't been playing long enough to test on it. Eventually, once these things get hard enough, you'll want to know what the actual stat of the bosses that you're going up against, which we can find that in Atlas. However, we can't click out of the game to go and look at it. So that's where I'd probably say, once we get to that point, take some screenshots of what all these bosses actually have for their stats, and based by your skills, pick the one that you're going to have the best chance for. There are some gems out there that are labeled as S1, which is going to be specific for this season and will have certain skills that will pair up with some of those skills or brands that we're picking for the skills in the game. No, that sounds confusing. Not really sure what's going to happen once this season's over because they say that they'll be invalid, so I don't know if we'll just never be able to use them again or if they'll just revert back to their basic stats. If you want some more info on some of these skills that you're picking, you can go and tap on it. You'll see some stuff that pops up top, and there it looks like there is some hourglasses for possibly some cooldowns. It looks like for the White Robe Wizard here, at least when it attacks, there's half a shadow on it, so I'm assuming that the one on the right is going to be how long the cooldown is before it attacks, and I can only guess that the one on the left is going to be something related to its actual skills and how often those proc. But I'd say get in the habit of tapping on these things, kind of knowing which each one does, because there is some extra info in there, and let's say you are using a Sky Splitter, you might want to know which ones are working around combo. The wheel on the bottom, not really a lot to say about that because it's all just going to be random luck if you hit something good or hit something bad, but just know there's a wheel there that you're going to be spinning. Another good thing to note is that our pets, our brands, our heroes, our gear, all that stuff is going to take effect in this. So as you can see my skills here, we can see that my combo rate is up from having, what is it, I think the Murloc on there that gives that boost. Right now, this is kind of time consuming, and I hear a lot of people start struggling once they get around difficulty 61. So that'll be the point where you really need to start tweaking your gems, your gear, and really start picking some of the enemies you're going up against and the skills that you want to use. So like I said, pay attention to the Atlas, really want to unlock everything we can these early stages. If you do see the chest, you see the angel, the demon, make sure you're picking those things too. And of course, try your hardest to make sure you're using these keys up every single day so you can get free ones if that's a situation that we need to be at 0 to get the free ones handed to us. Like I said, this is a day 1 beginner's guide, so I'm probably missing some things in there, or if you have questions, let me know in the comments below. We'll have a Jewel 1 following up right after this video, so stay tuned for that if you want to know more about how those are going to work. But if you want to know everything about the Dragon Boat event and how to maximize your rewards, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.